everybody, it's Claire here, Move More Coordinator for Belfast. Welcome to this session. Today I'm going to do a chair-based Pilates session. So this would be ideal for anybody who really would like to try Pilates but maybe would struggle getting on and off the ground to do conventional mat-based Pilates. We will be doing more or less the same exercises and movements and the same form and pattern that we would in a conventional mat-based session on the floor. Some of the exercises might be adapted just ever so slightly, but most of we're able to do on the chair. Just before we begin, please make sure that you're fit and well and able to take part. Consult your doctor if you're unsure, and if you feel any pain or discomfort at any time, then please stop immediately and don't continue. Any of these exercises will be taken at your own risk. Okay, so to get started, in order to get the most from our Pilates, we really need to be mindful of the fundamentals of Pilates. And in doing so, we'll ensure that each exercise that we execute is done properly, it's done correctly, and it will have the desired outcome. In Pilates, we don't really count reps or number of times we do each exercise. You just do it as much as you can. It's more important that you execute the exercise correctly, precisely, with control and with good flow of movement. And if you can only manage that a couple of times by doing it precisely and with control, that's better than doing it loads of times and not doing it correctly. So the fundamentals of Pilates are our ABCs. So we have alignment, breathing and centering. So for alignment, when we are sitting down on the chair to do Pilates, we need to make sure that we're sitting correctly and that everything is aligned as it should be. And we will be going back and forward to this throughout the session just to make sure that we are mindful of our correct alignment. So when we're sitting on the chair, make sure that you are not sitting back on it, that you're sitting upright. And in order to know if you're sitting correctly upright or not, if you find your sit bones, so they're like the little bony bits, two bony bones in the bottom of your bottom. So you might need to just go back and forward a wee bit or over to the side, but they are there, and if you want to be sitting right on top of your sit bones. Then we want to make sure that our feet are well planted into the ground and that our legs are about hip width apart, our feet are flat on the ground, and that we feel stable and secure on the chair. We need to make sure that our hips and knees are in line with each other, and that our knees and ankles are in line with each other, and that our knees aren't going over our toes. So you should be able to see sort of the tops of your toes, and your knees should be in line with your second toe. Then we want to make sure that our hip bones are facing forward. So if we're sitting right on our sit bones, our hip bones should essentially be sitting forward. We want to make sure that our ribs are lifted up off our hips, and that our shoulders are lifted up off our ribs. Our shoulders should be down and relaxed, and they too should be pointing forward. Our neck and head should be lengthened through, so imagine someone is pulling a thread through your head and that you're nice and aligned. I'll just turn around to the side of my chair so that you can see that. So you can see I'm on my sit bones, my knees and hips are in line, and my knees and ankles are in line, and my knees aren't over my toes. My shoulders are down and relaxed, and my head just points naturally forward, and there should be like a nice natural C curve in your spine. Sometimes we find that if we have jobs that require us to sit at a desk for a long time, or if we're driving for a long time, we might find that we'll either slouch forward or sit backwards, and both of those will put extra pressure either on the top of our back and shoulders or in the bottom of our back. But if we have this nice natural C curve, that keeps everything in the spine's correct alignment, so there will not be any pressure there, unnecessary pressure. So that's our alignment. We will come back to that quite a bit throughout the session, just to make sure that we are mindful of it. The next fundamental then is our breathing. So in Pilates we do what we call thoracic or lateral breathing, and that's all coming from your ribs and your upper lungs. So if you want to take your hands and place them on your ribs, make sure your fingers are touching. And when you take a big deep breath in, and out again. As you take a big deep breath in, if you're doing it correctly, your fingers should come slightly apart. So you want to breathe in and up in and up. So we're not breathing with our belly, but we're breathing with the top of our lungs and our ribs. So if you want to try that a couple of times, and just be mindful that we are taking deep breaths, so don't get dizzy. You might only need to do it 2 or 3 times and that's enough. Okay, so breathe in and out. In and out. So the whole way through, that is the breathing that we want to make sure that we're doing. And breathing is a very, very important part of carrying out each exercise in Pilates. So just want to make sure that your ribs are coming apart and then they're going back together again. And again, we want to make sure that we're sitting right up on our sit bones and that our shoulders are down and relaxed. The final fundamental then is centering, and this is all about our core. And Pilates is all about the core, and in Pilates essentially your core is called your powerhouse. Now we're not just talking about our core as we would know maybe as a six-pack, but there's so many muscles in and around your core area and your back that hold all your vital organs in place, that hold everything, particularly if you think about a pelvic floor. Your pelvic floor, that muscle, keeps everything up and essentially from falling out. So we want to make sure that we have our core engaged and that we're centered correctly. And the best way to be able to describe, to make sure that your core is centered, is if you imagine if you have a belt and you've got your belt around your waist and you're pulling all the notches. So say there's 10 notches on the belt. You want to breathe, suck that stomach in and up, and so that your notches are at number 10. Okay, then you want to just let it out gently. You're not letting it all the way out. You want to let it out to maybe 4 or 5. So you should feel that your core is engaged. Or another way of remembering is if you ever take jeans out of the tumble dryer and you need to like suck everything in to be able to sit them up, that's what we're trying to get. We're trying to make sure that that core is engaged the whole time. So we want to make sure that that core is engaged, and we will call that our navel to spine connection. So if you imagine that your belly button is being sucked and stuck to your spine, okay, so we want to make sure that that's engaged at all times. We are able to do that lateral breathing with our core engaged, okay, and every exercise that you do will become a little bit easier to do and you get the most out of it if your core is engaged correctly. Okay, so that's our ABC, so our alignment, our breathing and our centering. So for our alignment, if we imagine that we had like laser beams or lights on our shoulders, our forehead, our shoulders, our hips, our knees, our ankles, and those laser beams should all be pointing the same direction. Okay, so now we have the fundamentals, and we will start with the main bit of our session. So first of all, I just want you to take a big deep breath in, and as you do that, I want you to bring your shoulders to your ears as far up as you can go. So breathe in and then relax them down. And again, I'm just trying to release any tension that may be in your shoulders. Again, we are taking a big deep breath in, so we don't want you to get dizzy. So you might just want to do a couple of those and then stop. In and relax. Okay, this time, again, making sure that we're still on our sit bones and our navel to spine is connected. We just want to gently roll the shoulders forward. So we're not bringing our neck and chin down to our shoulders. We just want to keep everything else stable. The only thing that should be moving is your shoulders. So you might only be able to manage a small circle. You might only be able to manage up and down for now. And that's okay. Just take it at what you are able to do. So we want to do a few of these one way and then go the opposite direction. If you're anything like me, you might find that there's a few crunches when you're doing that, and that's fine. As long as there's no sharp pains, the crunches are very normal, especially if you do sit in the same position for most of the day. But we're going to try and loosen the shoulders and the mobility in the shoulders. Okay, from there, if you want to just take your arms up towards the ceiling and back down again. So arms facing up, palms facing up, and then palms facing down. Again, keep your shoulders down and relaxed. If you can, navel to spine connected. And we just want to gently take our arms up palms towards the ceiling, turn the palms round, palms facing the floor and down. We'll just do a few more of these, just getting those shoulders mobilised. Up and down. This time, when we take our hands up, we want to bring them out to the side and create a circular movement. So palms facing up, turn the palms and down. So imagine you're just gently going through some water. So you're lifting your hands through the water and down again. So again, you may only be able to manage a few of these, and that's fine. So we'll just do one more this way. And this time we want to try and go the opposite direction. So we're going to go out to the side first and down to the floor. Out to the side and down to the floor. Okay, so remember, this is a good opportunity to make sure that you're still in your correct alignment. You're on your sit bones. You've got that nice navel to spine connection. And we'll just do a few more to finish. And last one. Okay, so you might just want to give your arms a little shake out. From there, we're just going to try and mobilise the wrist joint. So if you want to take one hand out to the front and the other hand can just stay on your knee. And if you just want to, the fingers need to be lengthened. So imagine someone's pulling your fingers to the other side of the room. Try this. You can see. So lengthen through the fingers, and you just want to point and flex the wrist. So I'm going to do that a couple of times. Again, your range of motion here might not be very good, and that's okay. You just go to where you feel is most comfortable. From there, we want to just circle in one direction, keeping those fingers long and lengthened. So your forearm will naturally move. The only thing really that we're trying to move here is the wrist. So it's not coming from the shoulder, it's coming from the wrist. So the isolated joint here is the wrist and nothing else is moving. So go, once you've done one direction, then you might want to try the other. Okay. And from there then we just want to take the opposite arm. So flex and point the wrist. And again, if you have a job that maybe involves you sitting at a computer a lot of the day, typing, you might find your wrists are a little bit tight and a little bit stiff. So these are really good exercises, even just to take a few minutes in the day, just to take a few minutes out of work, step back from your desk and just give your wrists a little stretch. Then we want to circle one direction and then the other. And again, if you're only able to manage a few, that's absolutely fine. Okay. From there, we're going to do what we call the Wieder. And this, if you imagine if you have a tray and you're a waiter and you're bringing a tray of drinks or food to a table. So we want to make sure that this part of our arm is more or less stuck to our sides. We just want to have our elbows at a right angle and our palms are facing the ceiling. Again, palms are flat and fingers are lengthened. So again, so you can see from here. From there, we want to take a breath in, and on your out breath, you just want to gently take your arms away from your body. So our shoulders should be down and relaxed, and making sure that they keep contact with the side of your body, that they don't come out of contact with the side of your body. You may only be able to go so far. Some people might be able to take theirs right the way out. So again, just do what is comfortable for you. Shoulders should remain relaxed and down, and our chest should remain wide as well. So this is a good exercise for opening the chest. Breathe in and out. And you might find that one arm is able to go a little bit further than the other, and that's absolutely fine as well. So just make sure that our elbows stay at that right angle, that our arms aren't coming up or down, that you manage to stay in that one position. So nice control, flowing movements. Pilates is all about the mind-body connection, and you can see why, because there's so many things that we need to remember and so many things that we need to concentrate on while we're executing each exercise. So we'll just do 2 more of these. And relax. So now we're going to bring our attention down to our feet, and we're going to do some heel raises. So for that, you can just keep your hands on top of your thighs, and you just want to bring one foot onto the ball of your toes and back down again, and the opposite foot, making sure that the only thing that's moving is your heel is coming up off the ground. If you find when you're doing this alternate feet that maybe your knees are coming in or out, then just concentrate on doing one at a time for now. And get that nice stretch up the back of the calves and even on the arch of the foot. So after you've done a few on one side, then you can do a few on the other. You might want to try gently doing alternate ones. And again, this is where it comes down to that control, precise movements. So if we do it nice and slow and controlled, we're going to execute it properly, and we're going to get the most out of each stretch or exercise. From there, if you can, you might want to try and bring your toes to the ceiling. Okay, from the sitting position, sometimes it's not as easy as when we're standing, but we can still get that stretch down the bottom of our foot. So you might want to try going onto the ball of your foot and then bringing your toes up, ball of your foot and toes up. So we'll just try a few more of those. And again, this is a good opportunity to make sure that our alignment is in the right position and that our centering, our core is engaged, and that we have that navel to spine connection. So we'll just do a few more of these and relax. Okay, so we're going to go back up to the top of our body again. We want to make sure that we are correct on our sit bones, our alignment is correct, and that we're lengthened through our head and neck. So from there, we're going to do some chin tucks, and this is just gently, we're just going to direct our chin to our chest and then shine our chin to the ceiling. Okay, so you want to take a breath in. On the out breath, just gently tilt your chin to your chest, keeping that length engaged through the back of the spine and into the top of the neck. So we don't necessarily need to put our chin onto our chest, but it's just going down so that you can feel that stretch in the back of the neck. So from our neutral position, breath in and down towards our chest. And again, one more this way. And back up to our neutral position. This time, we're going to tilt our chin up diagonally towards the ceiling. So we're not throwing our head back, but we're just going to tilt it up ever so slightly. So breath in, and on the out breath, you just want to stretch gently. So you should feel a nice stretch down that side of your throat and your neck. Breath in, and back to center. One more. This time we're going to try and do that whole one flowing movement. So from our chin to our chest, up to center and back up to the ceiling. So when you're ready, breath in and breathe out to your chest. Breath in to center and out up to the ceiling. And again. And we want to make sure that our shoulders are relaxed and down. The only thing that's moving here is our chin, and our shoulders aren't coming up to meet our ears for this one. So we'll do one more of these. And back to center. From there we're going to do some neck rolls, and what we're just literally going to be moving our neck from side to side. Now imagine that your head's on a pole, and the only thing that's moving will be your head. So you want to keep our shoulders and our hips and our knees facing forward, and the only thing that's moving is this bit of your neck at the top of your spine. So breathe in, and on the out breath you just want to gently rotate your neck to one side and back to center. Breathe in again, and the other side. Again, you may only be able to take your neck just slightly round, and that's okay. Keep doing these exercises on a regular basis and you should increase that range of motion in your neck. So shoulders are relaxed and down and pointing forward. You might have to really concentrate on keeping the shoulders down and relaxed, and that navel to spine connection. This time, when you're turning, just notice to where your gaze lands when you turn from side to side. So there may be a picture on the wall, there may be a bit of wallpaper, and this time when you do it, see if your glance can just go slightly beyond where you landed the last time. If you find that you're coming out of alignment when you do that, just stick to what you were doing previously. So we're just trying to get a nice stretch in the side of our neck. So if you can just glance just slightly beyond where your gaze landed before. Okay, so that will do us for that. Now we're going to do a stretch of our side. And for this one, we want to make sure that we are in the correct alignment, so that our feet are well planted on the ground. Take one hand and place it under the chair. So this is only just for support, so we're not going to be leaning on this arm, it's just there for support. We want to take the other arm in the air and make sure that you have, imagine there's a peach or a ball between your ear and your arm. So we want to keep that same gap the whole way. And what we're going to do is just leading with the head, just ever so slightly, so our head and then our spine, we're going to reach up and across. So we should feel a nice stretch down the side of our ribs and down this side. So we're going to go up and across, so making sure that you're on your sit bones, that someone is still pulling that thread through your head and neck. So make sure you don't come off your sit bones. And this arm here is just for support, so that you shouldn't really be leaning on this arm as such. And back down again. And we'll try the other side. Up and across. If you find that it's too much to put your arm in the air, or you aren't able to put your arm in the air, if you put your hand across your other side of your chest and just concentrate on the bend, on that stretch. We'll try another side like that. So you should feel that stretch still along your side. So I'll just turn this so you can see me do it from the side. So one hand's under the chair, the other hand is in the air, and we're up and across. So staying on our sit bones, up and across. Let's do a few more each side. So make sure that navel to spine is well connected. Just try to work right this way again. So we'll just do 2 more of those each side. So up and over, and up and over. Last one each side. So you might find that you're a bit tight, especially if you've had any surgery along the chest area. You might find that you're a little bit tight. So these movements are quite good at releasing any of that tightness and getting that stretch and mobility. Okay, so from there we're going to do some waist twists. So this, again, make sure that we are in our correct alignment. We want to take one hand across our chest, so no higher than where your heart is, and the other hand you just want to place on top. So the palm of the top hand should be resting on your arm, and the back of the bottom hand should be resting under your elbow. From there, you want to take a breath in, and on the out breath, you just want to twist ever so slightly round. Okay, so our head and neck is just an extension of our spine. The only thing really is moving is from the waist, but making sure that our hips and our shoulders are pointing forward and that we remain on our sit bones. So breath in and turn to the other side. Again, you may have to concentrate really hard on keeping your shoulders down and relaxed for this, and our head lengthened. The other side. So you might want to, if you have a watch or a bracelet, you might want to focus your gaze on that. And back to centre. Again, you may only be able to go so far around, which doesn't seem like it's very far, that's fine. And just like we've done with our neck rolls, just look to see where your gaze lands each time that you do this, each side. And when you get back round again, try and get your gaze to go slightly beyond that. Not too far, but just slightly, so as we're deepening into that stretch and helping with the mobility of the spine. Spinal mobility and spinal strength is so important, especially as we're aging and things sometimes start to slow naturally. If we can keep our spine as mobile as we can and as strong as we can, then being able to do our daily tasks, getting dressed and getting washed, will remain easy enough to do. Okay, so we'll just do a few more each side. And last one. Okay, so just you might want to give your arms a little shake. So this exercise that we're going to do next is called the bow and arrow, and again it's really good for shoulder mobility and opening up that chest area as well. So finding your correct alignment, so making sure that you are on your sit bones, that core is engaged, we've got that really good navel to spine connection. You want to take your two arms up so that they're shoulder height, and from there you want to make sure that your fingers are lengthened as well, and that it's quite easy for this one to collapse down, okay, but we want to make sure that the more that we have that good navel to spine connection, that good connection with our core, the more we should be able to stay up in that correct position. So arms out in front, keep your gaze on your fingers, and you just want to bring one arm to your chest and then right out behind, okay, and back to centre. So arm to your chest and round to the side and back to centre. Again, we may need to concentrate really hard on keeping that navel to spine connection, not collapsing down, and keeping our shoulders relaxed and down. Okay, so this is good for anybody that maybe wants to prevent any lymphedema, keeping that movement going within the arms and around to the side. So this is our bow and arrow movement. Again, if it's too much to keep both arms up, you can just keep one arm on your thigh and just do a few on one side. Each time you come back to centre, imagine someone is pulling your fingers away from you. Okay, we'll try the other side. So making sure that our hips are still pointing forward. Back to centre. Okay, so we'll just try a few more of these. You might find that when you do come back to centre. If you are lengthening through the fingers, this hand that's been moving will actually end up a little bit further than the hand that's been left there, and that's good. Okay, so we'll just try a few more of these. Our gaze, remember, just follows our fingers. And relax. Again, you might want to give your hands a little shake out. This time, we're just going to concentrate for a little minute or two on our legs and specifically our knees. So for this one, we're going to do knee circles. And we want to make sure that our knee is at that nice 90-degree angle and that our knee and our ankles are in line. So you want to lift one leg just a few centimetres off the floor. It doesn't need to come off very much. And what we're going to do is we're going to pretend that we have a pencil on our knee and that we're going to either try and draw on the wall or draw on the ceiling, whichever is more comfortable for you. No bigger than the size of a grapefruit. Okay, if it needs to be the size of a grape, that's fine, that's all you can manage. So we just want to lift our knee slightly off the ground and just bring it across the midline of the body and back. So across, up, out and back. So the movement here is coming from the hip. It's not coming from your ankle or anywhere else. So nice, slow, controlled movements. And again, no bigger than the size of a grapefruit. But if a 10p or a grape is size all you can manage, that's absolutely fine. So again, this is going to require an awful lot of concentration to not move any other part of your body. So you might find that you're feeling that in your thigh. So once you've done a few one direction, you want to go the opposite direction. Now let me just turn to this one so you can see. So just a few one direction and then the opposite direction. Once you've done that one side, then lift the other side off the ground. Again, it doesn't have to be very far. You can hold on to the chair if you need that support, or you can keep your hands on your thighs. So just cross the midline, up, out, round and back to centre. Again, imagine we're drawing that grapefruit or the grape or the tempeh on the ceiling or on the wall. And again, once you've done a few one direction, you want to go back the other way. Again, it's very easy for this one to collapse down. So we want to make sure that we're right up on our sit bones. Only movement is coming from our hip and that we're nice and lengthened through the spine, the neck and the top of the head. Okay, so we'll just try that once more on each side. So just lift your leg up and across the midline, up, out, down and back to centre. And once you've gone quite a few one way, then change direction and go the other way. So good mobilisation for the hip joint here and all of the muscles in and around that area. And then we'll just swap to the other side. So once you've done a few one way, then change direction. You might find that, or you probably will find that you have one side that is more flexible, or you're able to do it for longer on one side than the other, and that's absolutely fine. Everybody's like that, and you'll find from week to week, one side might be more have more strength in it and more mobile than the other, and then another week it'll be the opposite side. Just depends what you've been doing that day or that week as well. So once we've done a few of those, then if you just want to take your legs and give them a little shake. Okay, so that finishes the main part of our session. We're just going to finish then with a few of the exercises that we have already done, what we started off with. So if we want to just do our arm circles again, so remember our alignment, so make sure we're on our sit bones, and our feet are firmly on the ground, our shoulders are down and relaxed, and everything is facing forward. So you want to lift your arms up And we'll just go straight into a circle this time. So palms up towards the ceiling, turn them round and down. So make sure that we're keeping our shoulders down so that they're not coming up like this. So up and out to the side and down. And then we'll change direction. So out and down, out and back down, out and back down. Let's do 2 more of these. 1 and 2. Okay, so we're going to do then our waiter now. So imagine that we are the waiter with like the tray of drinks. Our elbows are at a right angle and this top part of our arm is velcroed onto our side. So when we're going to take a breath in, and on the out breath, you just want to gently open your arms out. You might find that after having done the rest of the exercises so far that you're able to open them out a little bit further than you did at the start. So our palms are flat, our fingers are stretching out to the side, out to in front of us, and we have that tray of drinks. So we don't want to spill that tray of drinks, we don't want to knock them over, we don't even want to rattle the ice. That's how controlled and precise we want that flow movement to be. So we should feel that chest opening. So we'll just do 3 more. 2 and 3. Okay, so we're going to go down to our toes again and do our feet, do our heel raises. So right up onto the ball of your foot. Again, making sure that we're not coming out of any of our correct alignment. So if you're able to do alternate and you feel that is, you're quite confident and comfortable with that, you might just want to increase the motion. So you're not necessarily waiting to bring the other foot to the floor before you lift the other heel. So as one's going down, one's coming up. If it's easier for you just to keep doing it a little bit slower, one at a time, that's absolutely fine. If you need to do just one leg or one foot, concentrate on one foot a few times and then the other, that's fine. Again, it's all about what works for you. If you're doing it a little bit faster, I'm going to try and come up right up onto the ball of your toe, ball of your foot. This time you might want to just hold it there for a few seconds and back down again. And this time we'll just go back to alternate. And again, if you can, if you want to pull your toes towards the ceiling, I find this is a little bit harder to do on the chair than it is standing up. So if you can't manage it, that's fine. But if you can only manage to bring it up ever so slightly, that's okay. You should be able to get a nice stretch along the bottom of the calf and underneath your foot. From there, you want to take one leg up off the ground and we're going to do some nice ankle circles. Before that, we'll do a flex and a point. Again, making sure that we have that nice correct alignment. Flex and point, flex and point. And then this time we just want to take the ankle and as far as you can, you just want to circle in one direction and then you want to go back the other direction. Again, you might find that there's some crunching going on in there, and again, that's fine as long as there's no pain or sharp pain. Our feet, because we're on our feet most of the day, they do take a lot of pressure and they do take a lot of stress. So there might just be some little tendons or ligaments or muscles that are being stretched there that we don't normally use. Okay, and then we take the other leg, flex and point, flex and point, flex and point, flex and point, and then just go draw a circle in one direction. And again, it's very easy to be able to collapse down in this, so again we need to concentrate that we are staying in that correct alignment. Our navel to spine is connected from the very start of our session all the way through right to the end. and just change direction there. And then bring your foot back down again. So we'll just try a few more circles, one direction and then the opposite direction. And back in. Okay, and we'll just finish with some nice shoulder shrugs just to try and make sure that whatever tension remains we can try and get rid of. So take a big deep breath in, lift your shoulders up and down. And last one. And this time if you just want to bring your arms across your chest and tilt your chin down, give yourself a big hug for all of that hard work. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that session today and I hope that we will see you again very soon. Take care.